Hi everyone, welcome back to the GRC Sentinel. Today we're diving into one of the most transformative and controversial forces in audit, artificial intelligence. Is AI a game changer for internal audit or a risk waiting to happen? The honest answer, it's both. The upside is speed, scale, and sharper insights. The downside is bias, over-reliance, and governance failures if you don't set guardrails. What AI means in audit practice. Not all AI is the same. Let's define the toolbox clearly so we don't drown in buzzwords. 1. Machine learning, models that detect anomalies, cluster behaviors, and forecast trends. 2. Natural language processing, NLP, extracting meaning from policies, procedures, emails, and reports. 3. Large language models, LLMs, drafting work papers, summarizing evidence, creating control narratives, and semantic search. 4. Intelligent document processing, IDP, reading invoices, contracts, and forms with OCR plus classification. 5. AI-assisted RPA, automating repetitive tasks with learning elements, e.g. smarter routing or validation. 6. Adjacent analytics, not strictly AI, deterministic rules, traditional statistics, still powerful and often combined with AI. Think of AI as augmenting the audit cycle, planning, fieldwork, reporting, not replacing professional judgment. Opportunities of AI in internal audit. AI can be genuinely transformative when deployed responsibly. Here's how it creates value, with specific audit scenarios. 1. Efficiency at scale. Data ingestion. Automate extraction, cleansing, and normalization across ERP, core banking, HR, and payment systems. Population testing. Test entire populations, late approvals, duplicates, SOD violations without manual sampling. Example: IDP reads vendor invoices, flags missing approvals, and posts structured evidence directly into the audit repository. 2. Enhanced risk detection. Anomaly detection. Unsupervised ML surfaces, unusual transactions, timing, amount spikes, counterparties, geopatterns. Fraud signals, round dollar transactions below approval thresholds, weekend activity bursts, unusual supplier clustering. Example: a model highlights purchase orders repeatedly created minutes before quarter end, potential financial reporting risk. 3. Predictive analytics. Risk trajectories, forecast spikes in AML alerts, chargebacks, or IAM violations after system changes. Proactive planning. Prioritize audits based on forward-looking risk, not just past incidents. Example: forecasted uptick in privileged access breaches after a migration triggers a near-term IAM review. 4. Quality uplift. Consistency. LLM standardize language for findings, root cause analysis, and recommendations. Reduce ambiguity. Coverage. Semantic search pulls similar issues and remediation patterns from prior audits to strengthen current work. Example: draft a control narrative that automatically links to relevant policy clauses and past findings. 5. Knowledge management. Smart retrieval. Query your audit corpus. Show prior issues on third-party concentration risk and get sourced, targeted results. Onboarding. New auditors ramp faster with domain summaries and curated evidence packs. 6. Stakeholder experience. Fewer repetitive requests. AI compiles evidence across systems. Business teams spend less time searching. Clearer reporting. Visual risk summaries with drill-down traceability build trust and speed decisions. Risks and pitfalls auditors must manage. AI amplifies whatever you feed it. That includes errors. Treat these risk themes as first-class controls. 1. Data quality and lineage risk. Problem: incomplete or biased data produces unreliable outputs. Control: enforce data dictionaries, lineage tracking, and quality checks before model use. 2. Bias and fairness. Problem: historical biases in training data replicate unfair outcomes, e.g. geographic or vendor bias. Control: run fairness tests, strip proxy variables, and monitor segment performance. 3. Explainability and transparency. Problem: black box models undermine challenge and accountability. Control: require model cards, purpose, features, assumptions, limitations, and choose interpretable methods where possible. 4. Model risk management. Problem: drift, overfitting, and performance decay over time. Control: validate independently, set performance thresholds, monitor drift, and retire outdated models. 5. Governance and accountability. Problem: who owns decisions, errors, and controls when AI informs audit work? Control: define decision rights, acceptable uses, and escalation paths. Document AI's role in reports. 6. Cybersecurity and privacy. Problem: prompts and outputs can leak sensitive data. External tools may log content. Control: use secure enterprise instances. Restrict sensitive prompts. Monitor and retain artifacts securely. 7. Over-reliance and de-skilling. Problem: replacing judgment with automation erodes skepticism and skills. Control: humans in the loop, training, periodic proficiency checks. 8. Compliance and IP constraints. Problem: misuse of licensed datasets or tools, regulatory expectations for evidence. Control: licensing reviews, evidence traceability, adherence to retention policies. COSO-aligned governance for AI and audit. Anchor AI in the familiar COSO components so leaders and auditors have a shared framework. 1. Control environment. Policy: define permitted tools, data handling, prompt hygiene, and roles. Tone: ethics, fairness, and professional judgment, no AI-first shortcuts. Skills: set competency standards and ongoing training for AI literacy. 2. Risk assessment. Use case mapping. Score each AI use case for data sensitivity, bias potential, explainability, and regulatory exposure. Change risk. Reassess when models or source systems evolve. 3. Control activities. Lifecycle controls, development standards, peer review, independent validation, performance KPIs, drift alerts. Evidence standards, retain prompts, outputs, data references, transformations, and decision logs in work papers. Access controls, segregate model configuration from consumption, monitor privileged access. 4. Information and communication. Model cards, plain language documentation, purpose, data, features, limits. Reporting transparency. Disclose AI methods used and caveats in audit reports where relevant. 5. Monitoring activities. Performance tracking, accuracy, false positive negative rates, fairness metrics. Periodic reviews. Revalidate models, retire underperformers, update controls as regulations evolve. Practical use cases mapped to the audit cycle. Translate theory into day-to-day audit work with concrete examples. 1. Planning and risk assessment. Risk heat maps, ML ranks, processes by incident likelihood using multi-source signals, exceptions, complaints, outages. Scenario triggers, predict access violations post-upgrade, reprioritize scoping accordingly. 2. Process understanding. Process mining, map real workflows from logs to spot shadow processes and control gaps. Policy to control links. NLP ties controls to policy provisions automatically, reducing manual mapping. 3. Fieldwork and testing. Full population tests, duplicate payments, late approvals, SOD conflicts detected across entire datasets. Exception clustering, group similar failures to diagnose systemic weaknesses faster. Intelligent sampling, stratified sampling based on risk scores, fewer low-value pulls. 4. Work papers and documentation. Narrative drafting. LLMs draft initial control descriptions and test steps for auditor edit, not final. Evidence threading, auto-link artifacts to steps, maintain traceability. 5. Reporting and follow-up. Standardized findings. AI suggests clear wording with impact and root cause. Auditor finalizes. Remediation analytics. Predict delays, flag overdue actions early. 6. Knowledge and reuse. Semantic search. Retrieve similar historical issues and recommendations to drive consistency. Auto-generate checklists for recurring audits based on past successful engagements. Operating model designed for AI in internal audit. Don't sprinkle AI on top of existing processes. Build a deliberate operating model. 1. Roles and responsibilities. Audit AI lead. Owns the AI roadmap, policies, and model portfolio. Model validators. Independent challenge function can be within audit QA or seconded from model risk. Data engineers manage pipelines, lineage, and quality checks. Audit practitioners use their own judgment to approve or reject AI-suggested steps and findings. 2. Policies and standards. Acceptable use. What can and cannot be put into prompts, when external versus internal tools are allowed. Evidence retention, prompts outputs, and data references kept with work papers. Bias and fairness. Required tests and thresholds before production use. 3. Tools and architecture. Secure environment, private LLM or controlled vendor environment. No copy-paste of sensitive data to public tools. Data catalogs, source systems, schemas, and data quality rules. Audit platform integration. Connect AI outputs to your audit management system for traceability. 4. Skills and training. Curriculum, data literacy, prompt engineering, model basics, and ethics. Just-in-time microlearning, short modules embedded in audit workflows. Model risk management applied to the audit's own tools. Hold yourself to the same standard you apply to the business. 1. Model inventory. Register every AI ML model used for audit purposes, owner, data sources, and validation status. 2. Development standards. Document features, training sets, assumptions, constraints. 3. Validation. Independent review. Accuracy, stability, fairness, robustness, challenge overfitting. 4. Deployment gates. Go, no-go criteria, explainability, performance thresholds, security checks met. 5. Monitoring. Operational KPIs, precision, recall, drift indicators, error rates over time. 6. Retirement and change control. Versioning, every update documented, rollbacks available. Ethics, bias, fairness, and transparency. Ethics is not an add-on. It's the backbone of trustworthy AI in audit. 1. Principles. Not harm. Avoid models likely to produce unfair or misleading outcomes. Human in the loop, auditor judgment remains final. Transparency. Stakeholders know when AI was used and its limits. 2. Practical tests. Bias checks. Examine model performance across segments. Remove proxy features. Counterfactuals. If certain attributes change, does the model output unfairly swing? Explainability tooling. Use methods that show which features mattered most. 3. Communication. Plain language disclosures. We used anomaly detection to prioritize testing. Here's what that means, and here's how we validated it. Security, privacy, and safe prompting. Your prompts are audit artifacts. Treat them like sensitive data. 1. Secure configurations. Private instances. Prefer enterprise LLMs with data isolation. Prompt hygiene. No client names, account numbers, or confidential text in public tools. 2. Access control. Role-based. Limit who can configure models versus consume outputs. 3. Logging and monitoring. Prompts and outputs. Retained with work papers. Monitored for sensitive data leakage. 4. Incident response. If data exposure occurs via an AI tool, have defined steps: containment, notification, and remediation. Rollout roadmap, pilot to scale. Adopt AI deliberately. Here's a pragmatic path to reduce risk and prove value. Phase 1, discover 0-3 months. Identify quick wins, evidence collection, narrative drafting, and semantic search of prior findings. Guardrails, policies, acceptable use, secure tools, data dictionaries. Training, core team AI literacy, and safe prompting. Phase 2, pilot 3-6 months. Controlled pilots, select 2-3 audits, measure cycle time, error rates, stakeholder feedback. Validation, independent model reviews, document methods and outcomes. Phase 3, scale 6-12 months. Integrate, connect AI outputs to audit management systems. Expand, more teams and use cases, formalize the operating model. Phase 4, optimize 12+ months. Continuous improvement, update models, retire underperformers, refine training and metrics. Committee reporting, share quantified benefits and control posture. Metrics and success indicators. If you don't measure, you can improve or convince your audit committee. 1. Efficiency. Label, hours saved per audit, cycle time reduction, evidence retrieval lead time. 2. Quality. Label, error rates in work papers, consistency of findings language, rework percentage. 3. Coverage. Label, population tested versus sampled, number and severity of exceptions surfaced. 4. Risk management, Label, bias metrics, drift incidents, security events, validation pass rates. 5. Stakeholder experience. Label, fewer duplicate requests, clarity scores on reports, business satisfaction surveys. Quick do's and don'ts. Do. Set guardrails, policy, acceptable use, secure tools, and clear roles. Keep humans in charge. Auditor skepticism and judgment remain primary. Document rigorously, prompts, outputs, assumptions, decisions, and validations. Validate independently. Treat the audit's AI like any model. Challenge and verify. Train continuously. Build AI literacy across the team. Don't paste sensitive data into public models. Don't treat AI outputs as truth. Don't deploy without explainability. Don't skip bias checks. Don't overpromise. Prove small wins, then scale. Pick one audit process, say vendor payment testing. One opportunity. Use anomaly detection to flag duplicates, late approvals, and split transactions across the full population. Semantic link to approvals. 2. Risk introduced. Data lineage gaps, false positives, model bias towards certain vendors or periods. 3. Control response. Evidence retention, independent validation, explainability requirements, and human review before findings. Share your mini plan in the comments. I'll pick a few to discuss in a future episode. Key takeaways. AI is an amplifier. It can scale insight and error. Governance decides which one you get. COSO scaffolding works. Policies, controls, and monitoring make AI credible and defensible. Humans stay central. Professional judgment, skepticism, and ethics are non-negotiable. Start small, prove value, then scale. Pilot, measure, validate, iterate, don't rush. Be transparent. Disclose where AI is used, how it's controlled, and its limits. If this deep dive helped, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for GRC Insights every Sunday and Wednesday, and share it with your audit, risk, and compliance colleagues. Comment with your AI use cases and concerns, bias, explainability, cybersecurity, and I'll feature a few in an upcoming episode.